ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another Brick in the Mall. I certainly hope you're having a wonderful day, because I am certainly excited to be back playing another Brick in the Mall. It is day 95, which is not where we left off last time. You might also notice I don't have any debt anymore, and I'm currently sitting on $144,752. To put it simply, I've just been sat here, letting the game run itself. I don't think I've made any massive changes. I think I did tweak this area, though, a little bit. But I haven't made any huge changes since last time. I've just been watching the game go. I wanted to get the debt out of the way, and I wanted to have a little bit of money, because I'd like to try and change things up a little bit today. I'd like to try and maybe expand McDillen's a little bit. I'd like to, maybe try and fix some of the issues that we have in OBLS. And a lot of you have been mentioning that it might be a good idea to have OBLS open for 24 hours, which is something I'm curious to see if that would work, I suppose, is the way I'll phrase it, because I don't know what kind of demand there would be for a 24/7 supermarket. I mean, they do exist, they are a thing, but I don't know what it would be like in this game. I've never seen a 24/7 supermarket in this game, so we're gonna try it. We're gonna see what happens. But first, I would like to come over here and just expand McDillen's a little bit. So we're gonna do that sort of thing. We're gonna keep that wall and keep that wall. But this little area here is where we're gonna expand into. We could absolutely get more cashiers in here, but I don't really think we need it. All I'm interested in doing is going ahead and expanding this wall so we can get more seats in there. That's the important thing. I'm also aware that we do need to get more janitors. The place is relatively filthy for a lot of the day. Not just McDillen's, but just this place in general is quite filthy. I'm also thinking that I'll go for some diner tables in here. We haven't got any of those yet, so let's just put a bunch of them in like that and see what happens. People might like them, people might not like them, but I'm definitely curious. Let's also go to floor tiles and see what we can do. I'm thinking we're going to go for, I think we'll just maybe stick with the pink ones, to be honest. Let's go for the yellow ones back here. Sort of like that. And then maybe there as well. But then the queuing area can sort of be like the gray one, maybe? Does that? That's interesting looking, is what that is. Definitely interesting looking. What if we alternate the gray, the dark gray and the light gray ones? How does that look? That looks kind of interesting. I might just do that the whole way down the store, to be honest. So something like that, and then we want the dark gray ones going the whole way down there, and the whole way down there. That looks interesting. And looking at the filth in here, and okay, there's no filth elsewhere, but looking at the general filth in there, it definitely makes me think we need more janitors. So if we go to manage and we go to maintenance center, we can go to staff, and janitors, I think we have 2 of them at all points during the day. So yeah, the janitors come in, let's see, can I shuffle this a bit? Let's have you come in at midnight, and let's have you come in at midnight. Let's have you come in at 8 in the morning, and 8 in the morning, and then you come in at 4 in the afternoon and 4 in the afternoon. So they are 24/7 janitors. That's totally fine. I want to get 4 more of them though, so we're gonna go for, is anyone here actually good at being a janitor? Not really. You're not bad though, so you'll do. So you're gonna start at midnight. Then we need another one, which is gonna be you, and you are gonna start at 8 in the morning. And then another one is going to be you for sure, and you are going to start at 4 in the afternoon. So now we're up to 3 janitors at any one time. Hopefully that's going to do some good stuff for us. I'm curious to see if anyone's actually going to use these seats up here. It would be nice to see. Definitely would be nice to see, but no one seems at all interested in using them. Which is a bit of a shame, really. They're nice seats. They're really nice. Like, I am a big fan of, like, booth seats like that. I don't know why. I don't go to that many places that have them, but I like booth seats. There's something about them that feels very diner-like, because they are sort of a diner thing, I suppose. I like them. That's all I'm getting at. Anyway, What is the complaint we have here? The queues in OBLS are full. Okay. Well, let's see if we can perhaps go ahead and... Can we get OBLS to be a 24/7 shop? What would we need to do that? I feel like I need to change a lot of things. I feel like a lot of things need changed. So, let me pause for a moment, because this is going to get complicated. So we need... This is going to be so complicated. You're going to start at midnight. We're going to change... How many cash... I think it's 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9... Wait, what? Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Right. That's interesting. So 10 cashiers. So 1 starts at midnight. Then 2 at midnight. 3 at midnight. 4... And we're done. I've got a lot of cashiers in here. There's always, in theory, gonna be 10 people working in OBLS. I'm curious to see what happens here. I'm curious to see if having a 24/7 shop is actually gonna be, number 1, a good idea, and number 2, worth it. That's the next question. Is it actually gonna be worth it? And more to the point, have I set it up correctly? Because thus far, I mean, we're still pulling in customers, just not that many of them. So it really does make me wonder if it's worth having this open. I'm also thinking that we're gonna need more stock clerks, because at any one time, there's only ever 2 of them working in OBLS, and it certainly looks like this place is just not gonna... It kind of looks like it's never gonna be fully stocked again, doesn't it? I will say it is cool seeing all these customers in here, though. There's not that many of them, and we're not really making that much money, but that's not so bad. That's definitely not so bad. It's also a bit weird that, what, 2 of them haven't shown up to work here? That's particularly odd, but hopefully that'll fix itself soon enough. Once 8 o'clock comes along as well, that's gonna make things kind of interesting. There we go, someone else has shown up to work. It looks like we still have 2 counters that don't have people at them. No, I think everyone's here now. Okay. Definitely curious to see how that pans out, having a 24/7 shop. I don't know if it's worth it. I really don't know if it's worth it, but I'm curious. I do think, though, I want to get myself more stock clerks, so let's see. Anyone here skilled at being a stock clerk? Not really. You will do the job there, buddy. You're going to start at midnight. Then we'll get you, and you're going to start at 8 in the morning. Then we'll get another one, which is going to be you'll do. And you can start at 4 in the afternoon. So there we go. OBLS is 24/7. Here's hoping it does some good stuff. Here's hoping we make some good money. I don't know if we will, but I can hope, I suppose. As for McDillan's, it seems to be doing totally fine. And I will say, there haven't really been any complaints recently about any queues being full, other than in OBLS, which is pretty good news, actually. So, here's what I'm thinking. We have $162,417. I want to start moving things. I want to start, like, not necessarily making them functional, but I want to start planning out the mall idea. I want to start making that a thing. So we're going to go to build, and we're going to start building it today. And what I'm thinking is I want it to sort of line up like that, and I want a nice kind of decent-sized entrance. So we're going to go for like an 8x8 square. And the main entrance for the mall is going to be here. There's going to be like 2 doors. There's going to be entrances on the side as well. But I do like the idea of this. Now, what's the problem? Queue's full in OBLS. Oh, yeah. No, that's super busy. Fortunately, anyone that's still here when it comes 11, they don't have to leave anymore. They can just stay there, which is beautiful news. So no one's going to get kicked out of the store because the store is not closed. They can all be seen to. They can all buy their products. Admittedly, when the staff changeover, there might be a bit of an issue, but no, it doesn't seem like it. Okay, that went pretty well. So this is not built. What's the complaints we have here? Queues full and restaurants. They want 24/7 restaurants. Interesting. We might have to do that. We'll see. We'll certainly see. Now, let me get some doors. So there and there are where I want the doors to go. Again, sort of as a main entrance for the mall. Then what I'm thinking is... Wait, can they not? Oh, they can't do that. That's interesting. Okay, let me remove walls and objects then. So get that out of there, and let me put a wall back in that spot once they do it. Where's the builder? Where's the builders? What the? Oh, that looks like it's got a wall on it there again. Oh, there they go. Beautiful. So if you guys wouldn't mind, there you go. And I put the wall back in. Let me go back to objects. Let me go to double door. And I want one there and there. So that'll be absolutely perfect. Then I'm thinking there and there. And then this is going to be the start of the actual like main mall area. I think that'll be a pretty good idea. So if we go to foundations, I don't know what kind of measurements we want to go here, but we'll see. So if that is 9, 16, so 25 is where I want to go there. So bring this out considerably. I mean, it is just going to be a huge space, really. I feel like 25 is a bit small, though. Because on either side, well, maybe it's not too small. Let me go a bit smaller on that, though. So that's, what, 4 and 11, so 15. If we go 15 and bring it along and make a 15 by 15 space, quite expensive, but let's do it. That 15 by 15 space is going to have whatever in it, fountains or whatever. But then on the sides, that's where I want to start putting the stores. So my thinking is we'll get that built, and then by the entrance of this mall, I think having a fast food place is going to be a pretty good idea. So I think having like a McDillan's over here could be a really nice idea. Possibly. Or maybe that's where the stores go. Maybe that's where these stores go, like not the appliances necessarily, but the clothing and the electronics stores, they could totally go over here. Now, speaking of those, I do want to have a look, because if we have a look at MP3 players, I'm assuming the tier 2 thing for MP3 players is very similar. There isn't actually any demand for it. I don't know how any of that. Oh, here we go. So there is definitely a demand for like cameras. Cameras are a thing. TV sets, t-shirts. There's not much in the way of tier 3 demand for a lot of these things, but it definitely seems like there is demand for tier 2 and fridges. So yeah, there's definitely sort of there's definitely room to get a lot of very specific stores in here. That's definitely a thing we can do. Movies as well is quite important. But I think I will get some of these style stores. So what we can do is come over here and go to build, go to foundations, obviously. And if we measure this is 15. So so 7 there, hold on a minute. 7 and no, 8 is the middle of this, isn't it? So that's the middle. 8 that way and 8 that way. So what I'm thinking we do is we go 7 across and we do something kind of like this. We make it like a quite a long store. And we do the same just here. We don't get rid of that bit of wall. We don't get rid of that bit of wall. These are going to be... Now, how am I going to do the queues in there, though? That's the question. Because I don't want to make the stores unnecessarily weird looking. We'll bring them back a bit further. Sort of like that. Those are obviously quite weird looking long stores, but I'm thinking we'll do like electronics in one and clothing in the other, and that'll be totally fine for the beginning of the mall. This bit down the middle, I actually like the idea of putting like a staff walkway in there. So what we'll do is I'll leave that little gap there so I know where that is. Although I think I can just do this, can't I? I can just do like build the walls into this whole thing. So we'll do that. We'll go to objects like this. We'll get a staff door down there, and I want a staff door up there. Then a couple of staff doors up at that end as well. Then the storage area for these shops can be back here. And I think that might be a pretty good idea. Or maybe we'll have the storage area elsewhere. What I'm trying to do and what I'm trying to think here is that, or what I am thinking here, is that it might be a really good idea to have these set up in such a way that the storage area is nicely tucked away, and we can have the drop-offs area be, you know, tucked away as well. That's my thinking. Whether or not it works, I mean, we're going to find out, but I'm just trying to come up with like a cool idea for the way we're going to do all of this. So I do want foundations back there a little bit. We can get some storage in there. Maybe we'll go a little bit bigger on that, just like that. So it is a nice big storage area. Then we are going to need a staff entrance to it. And immediately, this seems like an interesting way to do things. I mean, eventually, I can totally see me changing this up a little bit and making it a little bit more appealing, because I know it's not quite that at the moment. But this is a start of the mole concept that I have here. Now, from there to there is 23, well, 15 by 23. So 15 across and 23 down. Can I afford that? I actually can, interestingly. So let me do that. Let me get rid of... Let me see. That's the midpoint right there. So don't get rid of all of that. Don't get rid of all of that. But then what length is this wall? So that is 15 back from there. Oh, no. Don't do that. So we want to go to walls. We want to go 15. Then we go across, and across like that as well. We want to put our staff door just there, and we want staff doors there and there, with the staff door down at that end as well. So we're going to have room for, you know, a nice 4 lengthy stores in here. Eventually, I would like to get a lot more space, you know, way back here. That's the plan anyway, to get a bunch of space back there. It would also be nice to try and actually find some other ways to do entrances on this. I realize that I've not left myself a lot of choices. But what I could maybe do is if we measure this, okay, I'll give you an example of what I've just thought of. If we measure that is, you know, 15 by 59. If we go down 15 here and go 59 across, we could do that and then do it like here as well, and do it up here as well, and then have like 4 different entrances to the mall at all these different like top points, and have all of the stores in the middle. That might work. Don't know if it's a good idea, but it might work. I'm also thinking that I have got a decent little bit of money sitting around, so I'm going to go to road work here, and I'm going to build a road. Wait, I can't build in this area? What? Why couldn't... Oh, there we go. It's because I was going down like that. So I want to build a road to... about there. I'm going to connect to this one. You can probably tell. That might bankrupt me though, so we'll just wait a little bit until I get paid at the end of the day to finish all of that. But this looks pretty cool to me. I am really happy with where this is going. Now, there was a complaint last night, close to midnight, that no restaurants were open. It does seem like people are keen for a 24/7 fast food place. But I don't think I'm going to do that until we go ahead and open the main mall. If I'm honest, I don't think that's something I want to do. Also, now that I remember, or while I remember, I want to go ahead to the McLaughlin movie house, and I want to change it up a little bit. I want it to open a little bit later. I want it to open at like noon and close at midnight. So Matthew McLaughlin, you're gonna start at noon. Your buddy there is gonna start a little bit later in the day. If he starts at 2, no, I want you to start at 4. Yeah, that'll be fine. So we're just shifting it a little bit so people can go to the movies a little bit later in the day, rather than going early in the morning and heading home relatively early as well. That's my plan anyway. How's the road going? Oh, wow, that is, I mean, it's going, I guess. It's going a bit slowly, but it's going. Let's get some more road up to... Did I do that wrong? Oh, I can go to there. Okay, we'll do that. That'll be totally fine. So we'll get that built. It is taking a while. The builders may have just swapped out, and I realized that because they have such a distance to go, it is going to take so long to finish that. It might be worth it, though. I know it's a bit risky bringing in a whole shed load more customers when we're already having problems with the queue length in OBLS, but my thinking is that that was almost a Forrest Gump like thinking, because that by the way, that wasn't supposed to be like a Forrest Gump impression. That the pronunciation was the important part of that. But I saw an interview with Tom Hanks where he was describing the accent, and it has like that hard G on the end of it. You've got the G kind of sound at the end of like thinking. That's... Look. I heard me say the word thinking. I heard a slight hard G at the end of it. I immediately thought Forrest Gump. Good movie, by the way. If you haven't seen Forrest Gump, very good movie. Highly recommend it. Tom Hanks is an American national treasure, and if you disagree, you are wrong. But, you know, moving on. I realize we have burned through... Oh, wow. So, queues full... Oh, yeah. Rural Outfitters is quite a busy place today. You know what? I want to have a look at how all of the shops are doing. So, the movie house is making money. McDillan's making money. We've got OBLS making money. Not quite as much, but making money. Rural Outfitters, 92%. Nerdresoft Store, 91%. It has been making less recently, which is a little bit worrying, but that's okay. Appliance Shop has had a little bit of an upturn recently. And Beverage Plus is at minus 33%. I don't quite understand why Beverage Plus isn't really doing all that well anymore. Not really sure at all, but I'm sure we'll look into it. Are these roads done yet? Ooh, you know what? They are. How much is it going to cost to do this? 40,000 to unlock that entrance. Oh boy, we might not be doing that today. Although there's so many people in here that we might get some pretty good sales and might make some pretty good money. Speaking of money, we had a peak of 23,355 in one day. It seems that we haven't got close to that recently, and I have to assume that part of the reason for that is having OBLS be open that long. Actually, yesterday was a pretty big drop-off as well, which is a bit of a concern, if I'm honest. I'm going to take a loan. Just temporarily. Gonna take a, like, let's say like a $50,000 loan. The daily debt is $5,088 for 10 days. I'm gonna crank that up a little bit to 100 days and see what I'd be paying every day for like a $50,000 loan. So every day is like, what, $735 for 54,000. I'm gonna go a little bit lower. I just want 50. So 686, that's totally fine. So I'll take out that loan. That's absolutely fine by me. And then I want to go and I want to unlock that. So that is going to bring in more customers, which honestly, probably a bad idea. Probably not one of my better moves, but I feel okay about it. I feel like I can make this work. I do at some point want to run a road the whole way up and across to there and then down to here. Because I think having roads go around the whole map might be a pretty good idea. But it's going to take a little while. Yeah, it's going to take a little while before I fully commit to that idea. I'm also curious to see what happens come like 7 or 8 o'clock when this road starts pouring people in, which it's starting to do already. I'm curious to see how many customers we end up with today. Because the highest we've had is 291. I want to see if we can break the 300 mark. There was also a complaint that restaurants were not open. That's understandable. They weren't open. They opened at 9. So it's not even noon yet. We're up to nearly 200 customers. Oh boy. Today, oh my god, there's so many people coming in. Today's going to be an interesting day. This place is already dealing with like full queues. So, yeah. I might have made a mistake. 302. We're well over 300 people. Well over 300 people. We are dealing with full queues. Parking problems? We have parking problems? I strongly disagree with the idea that we have parking problems. We have 396 spaces. How are we having parking problems? What's up here? We've got more parking complaints and queues full. And more parking complaints. I don't understand how we're having parking problems, but okay, customer parking. I guess we're gonna expand it a bit. So road, road, road. Then like that as well. Then like that as well, I guess. So queues full. Restaurants McDillen's queues are full as well. Oh, geez. Yeah, no, this place got super busy. I'm okay with this, though. I'm not actually that worried about these complaints. I mean, yes, there are going to be a lot of people leaving who aren't coming back tomorrow, and I get that. But number one, I want to see what kind of money we make today. And number two, I want to see how bad it actually gets. That's something I'm curious about. Also, the movies are a little bit more full today, which is quite nice to see. Let's go ahead and get some of this in here as well, so we can actually get... why haven't they done that bit? Really weird that they're like skipping bits there. That's, okay, now they're doing the customer part. That's just strange. What I will say, though, is that OBLS is super busy, and it is currently past midnight. There's still almost like 100 people here. And again, it's past midnight, so that's not a bad thing. Let's get more customer parking into all of those spots, though. Just like that. And hopefully that's going to do some good stuff. We're up to 460 spots for customers. I can't imagine that that's not going to be enough. We're at like 500. Yeah, over 500 spaces for customers. There's no way someone's going to be like, actually, that's it's not enough spaces for the customers to park in. You are going to need more of them. Let's go ahead and build a road as well. We'll just build that one. Just straight down there, so people can sort of beeline it straight into the parking lot rather than going up that way. That might make them happy. It might not. To be honest, I couldn't care less. I just want loads of people in here. I'm curious to see if we can... I want to see if we can go a day where, like, it goes pretty well with, like, all these people in here. We do absolutely need more people working in OBLS. Hold on. Are we still selling drinks in here? We are, aren't we? I think. What's this? This is sauces and seasoning. Actually, you know what? I don't know if we are. That's sauces and seasoning, pet food... soaps and shampoo. Are we? You know what? I don't think we are selling drinks in here. And to be honest, that makes it even weirder that Beverage Plus is not doing well. Like, that's the only place you can buy drinks around here, and it's like people are like, oh, you know what? I don't care for drinking. I feed through osmosis, thank you very much. So, just put me in a slider. I'm slightly permeable, thank you very much. Oh god, high school biology jokes. And I'm not even sure if that's accurate. I remember in high school, I frequently made osmosis jokes. I also made photosynthesis jokes. That was another one. So, oh, don't mind me, I'm not hungry. I'll just go lie out in the sun and feed through photosynthesis. But yeah, I feel like I'm in no position to make osmosis jokes. Queues are full. Speaking of osmosis, though, does anyone remember the show Osmosis Jones? That was such a good show. What have we done? 50,000 total sales. I'll take it. And queues are constantly full at OBLS. Yeah, they are. They most certainly are. Actually, I will say, it is nice to see that Beverage Plus is doing okay. Restaurants are also full. You know what? I reckon we could expand McDillen's a little bit more. I reckon we could get away with expanding it a little bit more. If we go to build, go to foundations, and we could do that. We can absolutely expand this place a little bit more. Can I do this? Yeah, there we go. That looks better. So let's get that built. And let's expand this place a little bit more so we can get another order counter in there. And then sincerely hope for the best that that's actually going to do some good stuff. So if we go, number one, to assign and go to fast food restaurant, we want to extend it like that. Then build. And we want the order counter. So right there should be fine. We do also want to go to floor tiles. We want to go to this one and extend it to there. Then the light gray is going to go all the way up to there. And that looks all right to me. I do kind of like that. I'm wondering if I could get more booths in there, but I don't think I'll bother. If we just go to objects, we could go for like the fancy restaurant table. That could be kind of nice. Like get some of those in there. I might, you know what? I'm very quickly going to go remove walls and objects, remove all of those, and let's start putting some nice restaurant tables in there because we can afford it. We can afford it. We don't need these little food court tables. We can go all fancy with our restaurant tables in here. So if my builders wouldn't mind very quickly dismantling all of this, that would be absolutely excellent. Also, I feel like those ones are actually in the wrong spot, which is interesting. So we'll just place all of these along like that, and then just get the we'll get the rest of them in. We'll place them all like this, let the builders do their thing, and then we can go ahead and get rid of the ones that aren't supposed to be there. So do all of that along there. Let me remove walls and objects. I don't want those ones in there. So those can all go away. And it looks better. I think that looks better. I think it's quite nice. Yeah, those are it's a definite improvement over what we had. Now here's the real question. Can we keep up with the demand here? Because I haven't been paying attention to how well the cooks do. Like, can they actually keep up with the demand of the customers? Because there's a definite possibility that the answer to that is in fact no. But we'll see. Now let me also go very quickly for a second here. I'll just keep the game running at a slow speed. Let me get another fast food cooking range. And I'll put it back there. That seems like a decent enough location for it. I'll put it back there, because what I can do is I can get, if I really want to, I can get another cook in here. How's the movies going as well? Are they still aren't all that busy? Which is an absolute shame. Because it would be nice to see the movies get really busy, but whatever. We'll deal with it. We'll make it work. I am really happy with how this turned out. You know what I could do, actually? I could duplicate this. In the sense that I could duplicate half of this. Like, we've got this entrance area here, and we've got this little bit. Then we have 2 shops and a storage area. So we have the storage area. Why don't we do 2 shops and another entrance area down here? Then we'd have 2 more shops back here. And we just have this giant long mole that fills up all this space. That could be interesting. And that might work. I'm definitely curious to see how that goes. So can the cooks keep up with this? It actually looks like, it looks like the cooks aren't necessarily having trouble. It does just seem like it's the counters. Maybe getting 1 more person in there might be an idea. Although I think, you know what, I do want to get another cook in there. So let's go to McDillan's, and I think this will be the last thing we do before we wrap things up for today. So if we go to cooks, we have 3 of them. Let's hire another one. Oh wow, look at this, we've got more people. Are any of you actually good at cooking? That's the important question. The answer seems to be a resounding no. So that's the walking speed. That's customer checkout time. Who's the fastest cook? I think it's this guy. No, it's you. So you're hired. Right, so if we sort by cook. So what time does this place open? It opens at 9. So I want 2 cooks to start at 9 o'clock in the morning. And then I want you to start there, roughly. And you to start there, roughly. So that should be fine. You work 7 hours, you work 8 hours. That's okay. Hold on a minute. So if you work 8 hours, one of you needs shuffled there. And that should be fine. So now we have 2 cooks at all times throughout the day. This place closes at midnight. That's fine. As for cashiers, we might be okay with that. I feel like we need another one. So let me hire a cashier. Are any of you good at being a cashier? You're pretty good. You're not a bad cashier. You're pretty good as well, but you don't have much patience. So Naomi Chapman, you are hired. And you can start working sort of middle of the day, I think. Just about there. You can come in at 1 for 8 hours. And we'll see how that goes. That might do some good stuff for us. It might not, but I'm curious to see if we can maybe make things work, because I think it is entirely possible that the cook is having some issues. Yeah, definitely looks like we have a bit of a shortage of food here. Then the stock clerk has to bring in all the ingredients again, so there's definitely a bit of an issue at McDillan's at the moment. I mean, we're still making decent money. We just had a new high of $25,391, so we're getting there. We're definitely getting there. It's just, yeah, it's gonna take a little while before we're necessarily exactly where we want to be. But ladies and gents, I reckon I'll leave it there for today. It is the beginning of day 104. Things are going pretty well for the mole. Quite happy that we've finally got around to starting the construction of this thing over here. McDillan's has had a bit of an expansion today as well. OBLS is now 24/7, so I'd say we're making progress. Definitely happy with the progress that we're making. I would like to see more people going to the cinema, but I reckon we'll probably see that once it's all in one building. So yeah, exciting times ahead, but for the time being, that's going to be it. Thank you kind of for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye!